to The Topic, a podcast with
Gabriel Andreu,
Karen Turner,
and Constantine Elijah. Today I have had the absolute pleasure of listening to a curation rather than getting involved. We've got Daytime Moon, and it's by Graesén, Gardner and Irene Godfrey. Irene I know from university, and she's exhibited here a few times in different groupings with Maggie and Jenny. She exhibited, which was a really nice exhibition. I'm going to read the statement. Graesén Gardner is a Swedish artist who lives and works in Kent. She has previously exhibited internationally, often with large-scale expressive paintings using oil and acrylic techniques. Her artistic style shifts between expanding movements with intense colour and stillness with reduced contrast. Her painting has a distinctly visionary touch and is uncompromising in its search for synthesis beyond time and space. With colour, she processes memories, thoughts and experiences. It is expressive painting with high intensity and great seriousness. Irene Godfrey was born in the North Pennines and now lives and works in Kent. Her paintings possess an unconventional dynamism of powerful yet delicate gesture. Using subtle movement and rhythm, they lead to new places, both recognisable and unfamiliar. In them, she references both the macro and micro elements of our world. Come along.
Let's get chatting.
Boys, what do you think? Put you on the spot there, isn't it?
what do you think? You never asked that question.
I've never asked that question.
No, you have.
I've never asked that
Exactly,
question, have I?
Don't do it again. You can ask
It
to
is the
someone
worst question.
in an exhibition
know,
or in an opening. Oh, it is your word. I am scared in this country of saying, what do you think?
What do you think?
Because, I am really related with the person as a friend or something like that. Or if no, it's like...
So do you think there's a struggle to be honest within the art world then?
Of course.
Cool.
That's for this, and
big art, if I can say that way. Yeah, and where is the big business? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I realized that I was too honest. For example, at the beginning of, in my first year of the degree, I was like, this is shit, this is rubbish. But then I learned that, every artist is in a different position, and, so you can see different opinions and different views. It's like the same in another, doesn't have to be art, it can be in another things.
Well, art school sort of teaches you, I suppose, to look a bit deeper than just that initial aesthetic. Or that initial sort of
wider,
feeling.
I would say.
The wider, that wider picture of not just looking at something and going, oh, that's shit. You can do it, but it's a very initial response because it hasn't pleased you in some way aesthetically.
I mean, you're still doing it, but with your close friends. Paul, for this, you don't get honest opinions sometimes. So why I'm going to ask someone if they're going to tell me,
But do you not think you get honest opinions from your friends?
From my friends, yeah, and I hope so.
Cool. Yeah,
but, for what I learned is that, what I learned from the British people is, it's possible that you too, Constantine, it's like when you don't like it, or when you are not convinced, or when it's not your cup of tea.
Yeah, I love that.
You just say nothing.
Say nothing. Well, I don't think we're going to...
Very interesting point. Yeah, slightly different than I used to think.
I mean, now it's the same, in Spain, for example, that we can be more straightforward, but in the art world that I know, I think that is respectful too. So when it's not your cup of tea, you use that the same kind of language in art. It's like, you see the effort, you see, it.
But what if it's really not your cup of tea, but you see that how much effort was put in the work, and you can understand that it's valuable and good work, just not in your taste. Like,
so then it's the same. You can say, I can see the work of the artist behind, or I can see the concept that the artist want to say, because for me sometimes it's more the concept that that what is the material.
Yeah,
you know,
of
Karen
course.
is more the material
I'm
for
more
me.
material,
For me,
yeah.
it's more the concept that is behind. But still, you know, it's not something that amazed me or made me, you know, cry or something like
course,
that.
yeah.
That is what I want.
And feel that. I suppose that, you know, we're going to go back to
To the
work.
topic.
And this work to me, you know, I've had the pleasure today of, like I say, not being involved in the curation, and I love when that happens, because then it's just like going to a gallery for me. It's just like turning up and seeing art.
But
And
not every exhibition you need to create them.
no, I don't.
Like with
And
Fred
no. And that's what I love. Do you get what I mean? I absolutely love. I love curating, and I do love it. But I realise when
Not every single week.
not every week. And this work for me is so energetic. And this is the interesting thing. I've listened to both the artists, who are two very beautiful, calm ladies. And this work has so much power and so much energy going through it, and so much performance. I feel it's really performative, especially looking at these two long pieces of Irene's on this back wall. They're dancers, it's dancing, it's musical led. I'd love to see the performance of making it, you know, like the videos of watching Irene. There's so much energy in this work and so much texture in Irene's work, but then you move to Marie's and her texture comes in the materials that she paints on and that she prints on and that she uses. And this big piece here, which is really a dramatic piece, it's like concrete. It feels really textured. I don't know how long they've been friends. I don't know whether they've ever sort of made work together like this before. But to be honest, I love the conversation between these two artists. It feels really quite powerful to me.
Yeah, but you can see it together and you can see it separate, the two works. I mean, and they have separated quite well. I mean, you can see these two panels. They are, for one part, Marie, and another one, Irene. And then here is Irene, and then it's Marie. And then in here, because this there's big piece, you know, of Marie is like getting you into, but then you have these two beautiful ones of Irene. Because I love this one.
Is it called? Has it got a title?
Untitled.
Untitled. Is it untitled?
Untitled. And reminds me the one that I was telling you, that is this one here, that is After Landscape with the Fall of Phaeton by Hans Boll.
And what year was that? Is that older work or
It
newer
doesn't
work?
say the
It
year.
doesn't say the year.
But this one and that one, the here, above the door, it reminds me the ones of Irene that she used to paint.
That's why I was wondering about the date. The one above the door and the blue one, I have seen works like these two before, whether it's in print or whether these are the originals. These are the originals.
No, it's the originals. I think it's when she used to use kind of two colors.
I love it.
It's just two colors in one painting. For this is the Untitled 2021.
Yeah. They actually have number 12.
And number 12. It's a bit more colors. I think that she adds more colors. It's not only two. It's not bicolor. Yeah. But I really love these ones when I didn't used to paint
number
this
3.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
She has moved to another
because we've known Irene as Pia.
He doesn't know, no? Constantine?
You didn't know her from the...
we might see each other at cave, but we don't know each other.
As artists.
We didn't, we haven't studied together, interesting to see that she has two works, like number 3, After Landscape with the Fall of Phaeton by Hans Boll, and another one, number 14, and May Morning. They have value, like 3D. I mean, like they're painting
on a thicker canvas.
And the rest is a canvas board, or I don't know, is it?
And paper, I think.
The material, but it's thin.
Yeah.
Just.
I am really curious about this one because this one is canvas.
Number 9.
No. But the material is canvas.
But what, are you looking at the border? I love the way that all the work's been mounted.
Yeah, but
I'm not completely sure. It looks... But
it says canvas
by texture, it looks like
but
canvas.
I don't understand really well. Oil on canvas. You say oil acrylic on canvas and oil on canvas.
But is that not a mount?
Well, it's mounted in this thing that we don't know, the black thing.
It's like black sort of, we used this word last week.
For me, the passepartout, yeah, but
Passepartout.
it's something
No,
which
but
you
this is
put
not
on top
yeah.
of, but it's behind.
But this is not
the
passepartout.
basis of the,
So it's
and
the...
canvas is on top of that.
Yeah, the passepartout
material.
is not.
Well, she's mounted it onto something.
Exactly,
She's
but
stuck
how it looks like she has painted this on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have a canvas, you need to
Yeah,
stretch
yeah,
the canvas, you know, and have it
I don't know.
kind of like
They really love...
kind
I
of
like
Jackson Pollock
yeah.
when he was
That feeling
painting,
of,
you know, on the floor, and really expressionist, because it looks like really
I would say
that
so, yeah.
kind of painting, aggressive painting,
that sort of
masculine
movement.
painting.
Masculine. See, these...
This is what the, you know, this is was all the thing about Jackson Pollock and the masculine, aggressive.
Of course it was.
Investigating now.
Investigating
Because you can see the
materials.
how
Ah,
some part of
yeah,
the drip.
this
paint
is
was
true.
dripping,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, the
down.
paint is going down, so it was.
But for example,
So it
this
was-
doesn't
it
look
was
like it
vertical.
was
This one, yeah, at
paint,
least.
but it might
This
be
one,
both ways.
no, because look, this paint. I don't think that this one, that is because well, this is
Yeah,
oil.
this doesn't look like
yeah,
oil.
this is oil
It's
and
more
this is
like
acrylic.
So it gives
Yeah,
you
but
oil.
you were talking about the 3D and this oil on board, this
Yeah.
chunky board. I like that.
prefer like a canvas board, like for
I
example,
like these
yellow
little
tanks
ones,
number
sorry.
5, for example, like or the fourth Voyager.
For this
So-
exhibition as well.
That kind of quality of base for the painting.
See, I really like these ones that have this fin mount and this series along the bottom of the frame here.
The
I mean,
frame.
I like that. I you know, we spoke a little bit about it. We touched on it last week with Helen, with her framing. And that makes a really nice finish to these works, although they are canvases and paper. The way they have been mounted onto
Rows
this,
series 1 to 7.
this black board, I quite like it.
Yeah,
I spoke with Marie.
Aesthetically, but what we can see inside of that.
Inside,
I mean, you
Or
see
can
in the
feel, or
you know,
whatever.
you see in the faces of Marie, you know, quite of, they are quite
Marie
dramatic.
is-
the
Sports.
faces of, I spoke with her about this large one especially, and the face comes, Marie suffered bereavement during last year, and she mentioned her father-in-law. She said they were very close, and these works have come from that grief. The other images of faces, and quite skull-like, they're all very haunting.
Face,
These ones,
and
they
face series, yeah.
they become quite abstract. This one,
Very
here.
abstract,
You
yeah.
know,
They look very different to the recent ones.
Yeah,
I love the way this is printed from the sandpaper. She's used sandpaper
That's
as a
interesting.
well, yeah,
As
as
a
a canvas.
canvas,
as a canvas.
Yeah, canvas.
Canvas. So that's what I absolutely, she's printed on top of this black sandpaper. So straight away it gives this textured feel. But I love the beauty of she's taken print from the original work, which is up there. And she's taken this print, and what's lovely is the sandpaper is printed as well. So it gives this really image. And I think these two, when you stand and look at these two, the face here,
And
the large face, and this one, there's really nice shaping in there. So these are all quite,
face and
although they're very abstracted, they're still quite skull-like to me. It's facial. There's a lot of.
for me,
a lot of face
the
going.
series of face and sun face, they straight away take me to the name of the exhibition, like Moon. This is a moon.
Ah, yes, definitely.
Moon.
Definitely, yeah. The title of the exhibition is.
And actually, going from that face,
Yeah.
like looking on the big, so called woman,
Yes.
and gives by the colors probably in some places by the texture, but it's even different. But kind like give that impression of moon, like moon, like and face of woman at night, and I can see it's emotional, strong. So you mentioned before the experience of the artist she
Yeah,
had. So
yeah, no, this is...
Do you see a woman there? Because I don't know if
yeah, I do. I don't
Really?
know why.
Here I do. And I do here, so I see women in
here,
most of the faces.
Sorry, I was
But
in the
the
back.
title
But here I can see more.
the grief goes.
Yeah, you don't see it is a woman or it is a boy or it is a, you know, it is a
I don't
girl.
know.
Yeah.
Because for me it looks like a little girl in here.
Yeah.
More, in
But
that one,
okay,
yeah, in that
female.
one looks like a woman, yeah.
Yeah, this and I like this sort of reflection of the two faces.
Face
here,
grief,
with the very
number
small,
17. Yeah.
with the small and the
Yeah.
and the larger one, and then it goes into this amazing coloured piece here.
Time window.
Yeah, which gives a sort of churchy feel. So
I don't understand that one, if I'm honest with you.
this one, this is.
Yeah.
I think
Window.
she's gonna. This is a print of the original that's gonna come tomorrow. She's
I'm guessing
changing it, but the
these
colours are pretty much
two
the
are
same.
related to the music what's going to be played.
It's
Maybe.
possible, I don't know. But you know, it's
So
like
you need to
it
experience
breaks me,
together with-
it breaks my mood.
Yeah,
You know, in the
okay.
way that you see this woman like with the grief, then the small woman with the grief, then you see a blue face here, really cute. No, we didn't see, but it's here.
Yeah.
That is kind of the grief too, coming with all the grief faces. But that one here, I really don't
The
understand.
time window.
I will have to ask her because
Yeah.
it's kind of time
Well, it was
window.
interesting when they were curating, and I was sort of observing, and I'd pop in, you know, in the first couple of times it was all finding its way, and they'd taped stuff up, and then next time I'd come in, they'd taken stuff down. And at one point, this wall here had this large face, the small face, and then this black and very colourful. It looks a bit like an ink blot. You know, the ink blot where you fold in half and lots of colours.
Oh, yeah,
and that
yeah,
sort
yeah,
of,
yeah. It
It
looks
gives
like
that
that, yeah.
feeling of an ink blot. I don't, you know.
It gives me an idea. Today, a lot of ideas. Side effect of vaccination.
Maybe.
Constantine
had his
had
vaccination today.
vaccination
Yeah.
So,
AstraZeneca. Are you gonna
yes,
be
AstraZeneca. I don't even know what one I had first. and I've got a
AstraZeneca
book.
as well,
Was
yeah.
it AstraZeneca?
so coming back.
But no, so this wall didn't have the small blue face.
Oh.
So I just saw this, and then this burst of colour. So these two quite grey, quite depressing, feeling a little bit sad.
As you mentioned
images,
about
and then I saw this bright burst of colour, and I went, "Ooh, you know, they're quite dark. They're quite dark and intense." Marie's work, you know, it feels.
speaking about her experience, I see that actually as a portrait, probably self-portrait.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Where is grief? So
And this colorful painting, it gives me impression when you are like in grief or depressed and like feeling down, and still sometimes coming that brightful memories to you, or that bright memory is related to that person who passed away. So in that way, this colorful.
Well, that's what I saw.
looks-
The blue one wasn't there at the time, and she said that she's changing it, but the colours I quite enjoyed, because obviously most of the colour within this exhibition comes from Irene's work. It reminds me, we spoke a little bit today, me and Marie, and there's a feeling of that churchy stained glass sort of feel about it.
No,
I'm
it
looking
makes
forward
more,
to seeing,
actually.
she's changing it tomorrow, she's pinned that up.
you need
As
to
a
ask
thing.
her. You need to ask her about how she does this printing, because it's a printing from the original. I'm curious now to know how she does.
Yeah,
this
well,
printing.
you'll have to ask her when you
Oh yeah,
come.
no, can be like just scanning,
I'm not,
or
I
can be taking a photo of the work and just printing.
And just
There's
printing,
these
yeah.
two ways of doing, and I'm
I'm
imagining-
curious how the prints were done on the sun.
from the sandpaper.
Yeah.
Or whether it's painting.
No, it's not sun, it's painting, I think.
This is
This is
painting.
painting.
This isn't
It's-
printing.
And this
This is
is a printing that is, you say, Gigle print.
Igle, is it? Igle. I-G-L-E-E.
Large Gigle print.
So what is Gigli? I've often
It's a kind of
wondered.
print.
Right, okay.
But how
You have several
how
prints,
other
you
way
know,
you will
normally
find out
you-
that the big
What?
like work which calls face, is actually a print. It doesn't have a texture.
Because it feels like it should have.
exactly.
But it looks like a texture as like the
other
little ones.
Yeah, no, because this is a print and this is
I
painted.
didn't know that. It looks for me
okay.
like a
For
texture,
this-
and I was curious.
You never touch a piece of art. At least they allow you to touch, because there are interactive art too, or sculpture. I love to touch a sculpture, but sometimes you can't. I know.
Okay,
because
but
it's
I can,
texture.
this is, we're talking
With
about the very
big
big
grief,
one.
which calls grief.
Yeah, it's right, the big one called grief.
I see how gentle it could be, so I'm not going to touch
yeah.
that because
But
I see
it feels
how.
quite solid as well.
I'm
I
guessing
wanna
how it was made.
I always want to touch. Yes, that's my curiosity.
But here with
of materials.
face piece, I was guessing it's sandpaper. So nothing gonna happen with sandpaper if you touch it.
But it happens with this kind of photography. So yeah, I am trying to do
Sorry,
that with you
sorry,
like
Mel.
years and years.
For years, I can't help it. I can't help it, and it is one of the.
Back to the topic, sponsored by Cave.
Back to the topic, sponsored by Cave.
Back to the topic, it's sponsored by...
Sorry.
When I was a child, I believed that Santa Claus doesn't exist. And,
Doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was sure that it doesn't exist, but people from the army dressed as a Santa Claus was coming to flats and bringing gifts.
That's so bizarre.
Speaking of why army, because
I prefer, I don't
in-
know.
because on that time, army people
Cool,
were
so
doing everything. Like
There was the people from the army who brought the presents to you.
they were doing everything, so I was assuming that they were doing.
They were
also
doing that as well.
Santa Claus, yeah. I knew he didn't exist, but I needed to explain myself how. Because in kindergarten, probably I saw that Santa Claus was coming,
we don't
bringing gifts,
have-
and I already knew it. Someone was dressed up as Santa Claus, and his bird actually not real, and part was falling off.
When I was a little kid, we have the three kings, and then Santa Claus appeared more or less. No, my family, for example, is still celebrating the kings. Now that my parents are old, and my aunts and my uncles, instead of celebrating the Christmas together, that was a lot of work for them, like cooking. This thing was too much, and they are all now. So they meet now in my cousin's house, I think, on the King's Day. And they have,
nice.
my cousin prepared food for all.
I do remember Epiphany, and I don't know why I remember it. I think I went to a Church of England primary school. I didn't go to a church-based secondary school.
Epiphany is 2 weeks after Christmas.
But I didn't finish my story that we used to do something that now is really bad.
Yeah.
You say that everyone was black, Jesus was black. Yeah, well, the thing is, one of the kings was black. And in Spain in the 80s, it wasn't many black people. So the king,
Catholic,
black king, always was black face painted.
But then I
The
suppose
long
that
time
was
ago,
a
yeah,
long time.
people look.
It was the
different
80s,
ways.
yeah. Now it's for this I say now it's really bad, but in that moment, it's like it was with half. And I think that
I
still,
know.
because this is kind of a celebration that we still doing in every city, and a small village. Babes, we don't have so many people, so many blacks in Spain. It's true, we don't have colonies like you.
Yeah. I can hold up my hands to my white supremacy and my white privilege. Do you get what I mean? At the end of the day, I think the world's been pretty fucked up in the past, and it's pretty fucked up now. But yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
Still, we are like, advancing, but still quite slow.
Now world trying to recognize the mistakes was done in the past, but
past.
not really knows how to do it.
For
But
example,
I don't really know what to do to.
well, we as
Yeah, to pay for
individuals,
it.
as individuals, we can just support democracy and equality for everybody, for all human beings. But we fight against our governments, and this is all over the world. I'm not just talking about here in Britain. we fight against the corruption
COVID
and
makes it more stronger
and
everywhere.
the that white privilege and the privilege that they don't want to let go of. The governments
Is it
and
white
the people
privilege
in power.
or rich privilege? Because in the past, most
it's
rich people
interesting.
were white. I would assume.
Well, I think that depends on the country.
It depends
It's
on
not
the
only-
country, doesn't
but
it?
racism is
okay,
really
America, Britain, Europe, like.
But they're
old Europe.
they're white Western countries.
No, but
Yeah.
racism is really sad, but it's in many countries.
It's in most
You know,
countries.
it's like
yeah.
I was talking with my professor of Mexican accent.
Yeah.
You know, when I have been 2 times in Mexico, as you know, and I see quite a lot of racism in the way that you see their commercials. And they are blonde with blue eyes. And it's like, wait a moment. Yeah. It's like...
But because it's Western culture and...
No, because it's racist. It's like, racist exists in Mexico too. And they are really racist against... And it's like, it's like, America is racist. America is the country that, and I have been living in San Francisco 6 months, and I work with Americans, and I know how racist is. And it's like, how a white is more than a black or Latino. Why? Because you came here first? Because this is a country of immigrants, sorry. Yeah. So why you have more privilege? And, when I was in there, I felt for first time in my life, like being like, Latino. Totally, because my face is Latino, my face is Colombian, my face is Mexican, my face is more South American than Spaniard. And the reality is my face is more North African because we have like centuries of Arab invasion in Spain. And if you see my face, it's North African, but I look Mexican or Colombian. So anyway, they were racist because my face, in a really bad way. When I speak, when I talk, when I open my mouth, and they realized that my accent was European, they changed the way that they talk to me. And then my face was in disgust. I hate it in that moment. And I really don't like that.
And where was this, in Mexico?
Why they
San
changing?
Francisco.
Why are they changing their mind?
And San Francisco supposedly is the most open.
Yeah.
Because you are European, you're white. It's just that.
Yeah.
It's like my face is Mexican, but you talk and you're European, you're white.
Making decision by you're white or not, just because of your voice.
Yeah, of course, because
that
your
makes,
accent.
So that makes sense.
For me,
totally.
I mean, I believe you understand completely, but for me,
I was 6 months shocked, because I was in San Francisco, one of the most liberal cities.
Is that a judgment then on the way you look? Or is it because they consider you poorer and less educated?
But who knows?
No, exactly.
Who knows?
That's what I'm saying.
More or less
they're making decisions.
Who knows? Well, no, they don't.
Where
but they're
he
making...
came from, and because of that decision, where he came from, like poor.
Solely because of the way he looked.
It's only because
of the way you look.
Well, and it's only because you're race, and then that was the moment that I understand a lot of things. I can be, I have been judged because being gay, being, straffalarious or flamboyant, and then, people look at you in another way. But because my race never happened to me until when I was there studying, an exchange of semester in San Francisco. And I traveled around California, but it was quite shocking, seeing that.
And feeling it.
It was really a lesson.
My only sort of comparison in any way, and it's nothing, it's very important. I do think, my comparison is important, but it's nothing compared to being judged by the colour of your skin or the way you... But I am judged by the way I look because I have a plus-size body. Yeah. So that would be my only way of trying to understand how someone feels, when they are being judged because of their colour or the way that they look. I know that I am judged by the way that I look and not taken as seriously as I maybe deserve to be taken or have earned the right to be taken, because people will make the judgment on how I look, and that's and that's through having a plus size body, which I've had since
I'm having similar experience in recent half a year, but especially last couple of months. I don't know why, but maybe because I'm paying more attention. I'm walking with the walking stick.
Walking stick, yeah.
And people, they're not showing me, they're not telling me anything, but I can feel by their look just when they just...
Which is interesting, and
like,
this is,
He's too young for the walking stick, like strange, and I can feel like I'm comfortable. I'm not supposed to have that walking stick. I'm too young for it.
Well, it's interesting, and these are just really slight comparisons, my plus size body, your walking stick are nothing compared to the judgment that has been made on people. But it gives us a slight feeling.
But for me, I say it was a lesson, because I haven't been bullied for being gay during all my childhood. And this is stay there, And now I can say freely, but I stay there. And a lot of traumas that comes to my brain, and a lot of traumas that I have to deal, because I was calm.
Your sexuality? Or,
of course.
But wasn't
my sexuality, no, because I was a child.
Ethnics.
So because of your...
Because I was calm.
Your natural behaviour.
Because I was feminine. I was feminine. I was bullied from 5 till 14 years old.
I've been bullied in school also.
I was bullied in the school and in the summer house. So I was bullied constantly during all the year round. So that it came to...
And that's because of your sexuality. So, people should...
I can add more.
You were bullied too?
Yeah, I've been bullied in my school too. Maybe it wasn't about my sexuality, because I wasn't showing, and maybe I wasn't even knowing. Sure,
I didn't
but
know.
Just because
I didn't
the
know
way
about
I was.
My sexuality when I was 5 years old.
I was different to others. Yeah, I was different to
because
others.
You were different to the others.
Of that,
Then they judge you, and they start to tell you, "Fuck off."
Also, growing in the country.
All three of us have, It's interesting, when the marginalised.
I wanted to add some experience to the racism in a way how it could be, even not in the color, growing up.
Which is that Latvia. Racism or is it prejudice?
Racism, yes.
Racism.
Sorry.
No,
in Russian way, racism.
No, I understand you perfectly. Racismo in Spanish.
Yeah, technically I was born and grown up in a country of different language, different culture, and I belong to the ethnics, which actually invaded Latvia. So technically I was one from them who occupied the country. For some period of time I was feeling guilty to say that I'm Russian. Okay. Even I started to speak Latvian only from 15 years old. And in my passport, for example, we have an option to put, we call it nationality, so ethnical.
Yeah, this is another subject.
This is totally
another subject.
I think maybe we should get back to the topic.
That goes
of the country where I'm citizen of,
which
I needed to prove
that goes to nationalism.
Nationalism.
That goes to that. That goes to how you feel. Yeah. Where do you feel?
See,
I'm looking on a nationalism, something like what does Ukraine now, Belarus, some of them, or Scotland. They are not against others. They are saying that we are still good, like nationalism. They are fighting for
their roots. The roots.
In Latvia, I was judged because I'm Russian. What I'm saying here, like in Scotland or Belarus or Ukraine, they are not judging others that they are not Russian, they are not Ukrainian, Belarusian or Scottish, but they're taking pride of themselves first. It's a different way, not judging, but paying more attention to themselves that way, how I see it. They're putting a lot of attention to their culture, to their language, and because they need to feel the kind of owning their identity back.
Yeah. See, I understand it. I am just a human being. And I just think There's so much, you know, we're all trying to keep hold of something that comes from our pasts and all the rest of it. When we all just sort of stand back and go, actually, we're just human beings on a planet and we need...
Make peace.
Oh, God, I just want everyone to be happy. We are here with...
Did we get to in some ways of...
Do you want to?
Of our grief?
Our own grief.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so many labels, and I come from Valencia, that is Catalonia, and it's kind of like, it's not Catalonia. Castellón, that is my city, and then it's Tarragona, that is Catalonia.
But there's so much separation.
Exactly,
within,
so many separation there. I understand them. No, I like the racists, but anyway, we just,
You like?
as we say,
I think it's important to have the conversations.
It's what I said before. For me, it was a lesson to feel different.
Yeah.
For me, it was a lesson to be in a country that, why they talk to me in that way?
Yeah.
You know, why they are so racist. So for me, it was a lesson to understand the other. Mm-hmm. Everything becomes easier.
Of course.
You know,
to understand others.
Yeah,
you have to
but
understand
a lot of people, they don't understand the other. For this, we have so many conflicts in life.
They haven't been possibly in the position when others were judging them.
Yeah, exactly. No, and they haven't been in that position of being, you know, different.
Interesting thing. In Latvia, I used to be Russian.
But
when I was going to Russia, I was Latvian for them. Even my Russian is my first language. Even hear my accent.
When I first met you, and it's like, where are you from?
Usually I'm presenting myself as Latvian here because it's easier.
Yeah, and Constantine said I'm Latvian.
Because
and
I'm
I
from
said,
Latvia.
I didn't really know where that was. And he said, but I sort of guessed it's part. I said, oh, Russia. Like that. And he's gone, yeah, it's part of, but it's Latvia. It stands alone. So we had lots of conversations for me to understand. And I tend to get more excited about other people.
There's a lot of history, babes. You
and
cannot remember everything.
It's very, very difficult.
And
but it's so
Europe,
lovely. But then that's why I'm blessed
yes.
with I have the most amazing friends from all over the world. And I'm so lucky because I learn so much from all of you. And that's what education is.
I'm a Londoner.
I am a Londoner.
To meet with people, it was a nice thing because now it's Brexit, and now I don't know.
Brexit isn't a nice
well,
thing.
700,000 people left London this last year.
Where are that £1,000 what they promised to give back to NHS?
Oh yeah, but there's another thing too. But all the people that left London, and London was like this multicultural city. I hope that it's still, but it's true that, you know, I was meeting with a Greek friend last Sunday, and we went in the River Thames. It was really funny because he came from Brighton, and we were sitting in the river, in the sand of the river, like a beach.
Nice.
You know, looking at St. Paul's Cathedral. I was like, babes, you came from Brighton, and we're in the beach now here. So,
I love London's beaches.
Yeah, so she's Greek too, you know, and she has a baby now. The Greg is the godfather. And we were like, you know, it's such a pity because it was so amazing to move around. And now what is going to happen now? Because not many people is going to come here. A lot, if you have to do a visa. No, it's not so easy now. It's not so easy to come here to live. So it's not going to be so multicultural. But anyway, we're getting old, we are living, so fuck it. This is what you were saying, you know, it's like you meet Constantine, me, coming from other countries, and this is where we have the situation of London, you know, to meet people from other countries that you learn.
Yeah.
Of course.
Speaking about London, I think first time in my life I felt like I'm at home. I was accepted. With my accent, with like I came here with much worse English. I wasn't speaking English.
I didn't speak any English.
And I was accepted.
Now I hardly speak more.
Gabriel, your English is beautiful.
So you feel at home?
Yeah, I feel comfortable. I feel at home, and to be honest, I feel more welcome in this country right now, even though I'm not citizen of Britain. Than being back to Latvia, or especially to Russia.
Yeah, but
I'm foreigner.
But you are living in London, and it's the thing, you know. It's like, for me, London is not UK.
First 2 years,
Berlin is not Germany.
First 2 years, I was living in
It's a
Cornwall.
multicultural city.
I was living in town, about 7,000 people living there.
Where?
So first 2 years in Cornwall, in London.
Cornwall.
The fact that you
Cornwall is
made-
beautiful, brilliant, amazing, and I want back.
You'd
back.
leave London and live in Cornwall.
Because I think I had enough of this living city with a lot of people and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not using tube anymore. I don't want it. It's
Yeah,
too much
yeah,
for
yeah.
me. I'm happy to go to Cornwall. It's quiet. I'm preparing myself to be pensioner.
You are.
Well, you've got your walking stick. When you first had the stick, you came in with it, and I says, what you need to do with the walking stick is give it a bit of swagger. So, and I love that this week that you've done a post on Instagram with you and your stick, and Jodie just went to me, oh my God, have you seen Constantine?
And now we have to say,
Back
please,
to the topic. No.
please follow Cave.
At Cave Pimlico.
Follow Cave. Follow Gabriel Andreu.
At Gabriel_Andreu_.
Follow Constantine Elijah.
At Costi.
Follow Turner Rabbit.
Turner beat.
Turner a bit.
At Turner a bit. And this all is on Instagram.
Should we do the final look?
At the show, I
Yeah,
think.
at the show, and
we'll
maybe
I think
what we're feeling or what is coming in the mind,
it was
then going
interesting
around.
how last week's topic of Helen Benson's show took us down a travel past.
To
Yeah,
Liverpool.
actually, it's a good point.
It,
Yeah,
it was very
it was
interesting. She took us down a travel past.
To
interesting
It was
to me to go
interesting
to
how this show
To Liverpool.
No,
and this show.
it took me to Paris. Helen,
It took,
so,
it
yeah.
did. It took,
you
it
to
took
Paris, to me
Constantine
to
Paris,
Liverpool.
you to Liverpool, and for me, Nigel did buy me the pink pylon at the end of the show,
Oh.
so I have another new artwork.
Sweet.
So back to this show, we've had a great conversation tonight, guys. You know, and it's gone. Whoa.
We
It's
talk
gone-
about
we've talked
expressionist
about everything.
art, Jackson Pollock,
We have.
masculinity.
It's interesting that they are really powerful, large, especially the large pieces of work.
Well, I
have a
like
lot
really the
of-
small one of Irene's and the small one of
You
Marie,
like
the
this
blue
little one,
ones.
that's
Yeah,
the one
this
you
blue
like.
one. So I like the
I like the blue face.
blue
Is
one,
that
the
your-
blue, yeah.
So do we have favourites? We
Yeah,
do love
I
a
always
favourite.
have favorites.
Yeah, what's your
babes.
favourite,
My
Gabriel?
favorite one is the blue one of
Has it
Marie.
got a title?
Blue face.
Blue
Blue
face.
Face.
And then my favorite one of Irene is the one that was untitled 2021.
Untitled
Which is
2021.
number 12. Untitled
We do
2021.
actually, something that we have missed, Irene and Marie have chosen to use the other side. But Marie's was so intense as a visual coming in. These are all Irene's works on the other side
Irene's
of the...
looks-
Yeah, the
reminds
Irene's works
me
is
that
like this is
Untitled
really
one,
similar
actually.
to the one that
Yeah.
they like it.
Yeah.
The moon.
This
really.
is, it's
Yeah.
very
It's the same
similar.
kind oil and board and
Yeah.
the same colors.
Texture.
These
Yeah,
are
the
really-
texture
and I
too,
think,
yeah.
and these are,
It's Marie.
and
But
beautiful.
actually, it's
And
a
this
good...
has worked lovely to
Yeah.
have this pop of colour. To have this pop out of colour outside.
Because it's in the shadow, it
Yeah.
doesn't have really the direct lighting here, and it bright.
Yeah. And you look at it, it's interesting, you know, you look at it from different angles. Obviously, you have to come along to Cave to see how our gallery works. We have two very large picture frames that create the gallery walls on one side and separate it from the shop. They've really used and spent time in the space and curated this work
It's, a good,
really
it's
beautifully.
interesting to see that they didn't have a particular view
No.
decision before. They
Yeah.
came to experience the space and after decided which work
Yeah.
goes to
The
where.
curation was so lovely to listen to today, to two very beautiful artists curating their own show and hanging their own show and really enjoying the whole process. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Do you know what I love? And that's only because at the moment I'm quite obsessed. I am looking for small work so I can have my little gallery wall in my van. I love this. And this was a print.
Dance one.
Dance
yeah,
one.
number 7, number 8.
The tiny one. I absolutely love it. To me, it's a man and a woman. It's
But I would say
dancing.
very gentle color.
It's so beautiful.
Now, and my favorite, I could say that attractive for no reason, probably just aesthetically, the number 5, yellow tents.
I've
think
not looked at
just
yellow tents properly.
Because of color, because of the texture, I would say. Even it looks plain, but the color makes texture. Color texture.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, and because it's on the board, I really like. Coming back to Karen.
Yeah. Sorry, my favourite of Marie, which could be a bit controversial,
The color one.
is the time window. I love the colours. I love the colours.
It just took my favorite painting.
That's
because
okay.
I like also of Marie's face grief.
Yeah.
That because of the size, because I like
the size and the length. These two, I like that their size. I like that they're extra long.
I like how it looks like graphically.
Yeah.
Texture again, color texture of it,
Yeah.
and it definitely goes together with the time window.
Yeah.
As earlier I explained the possible experience of the way how I see it or how I feel it. In the grief, you are experiencing that bright splashes of memory, the way how they're connected to your grief. Probably there's someone or something gone forever.
So, which one is your favorite?
Come to cave.
Which is the topic we still don't know. You know, this is a 4 radio program.
We say
No,
that
radio program.
in the first episode about topic which didn't go into the topic.
So, which one is your
Sorry,
topic?
what was your point?
How you receive information about the work, or how you're getting that experience. For me, it's not enough just to see. Sometimes I need to touch it, to feel it.
Looking forward to see you at